Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We've been promising you beaches, so today is the day. And we start from St Sampson's and we take you all the way around the northeast corner, down the west coast and ending at the most southwesterly beach, which is Portelet Bay. I think you'll see that we have some very different beaches. They're all gorgeous and there's not that many more on the south coast, but there are some, and we will fill you in on those as we show you other bits of the island in future videos of this series. So for now, hopefully you will enjoy this. We start with Alan's beautiful drone footage and then take you on a bit more of a walking tour. So before we do, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you like, if of course you do, and take a look at our beautiful beaches.
Put all your stuff away and check out for the day. There's no time to waste when it's 100 degrees. Burns under my feet. Won't you have a drink with me? We head into town, see what it's about. Barely need a shirt, though the sun has almost set. Make the most of it. I know we will dance and sing. There's a heat wave. There's a heat wave rolling in. There's a heat wave, yeah. There's a party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We promised you beaches, so we're starting with probably one of the smallest beaches on the island. We even have them in the centre of towns. You see, I look like I'm in a boatyard, or am I in a marina, or even in an industrial area? But just here is a little tiny beach. And nobody on it, and believe it or not, quite quiet. You'll see we're on the edge of the Marina in St Sampson's. You can see over there the Isle of Herm, and the marks are coming in the harbour. Industrial area all round there, that's our power station, and the car park here, which is used partially as a boatyard. Yeah, so one of the smallest beaches, but still beautifully sandy. This is Vale Castle, and that dates way back. Every year at August Bank Holiday they have a 2-day rock festival there as well, which is quite good. We'll take you along the coastal path to Bordeaux. So this is leaving St Sampson's. Beautiful view back. Views of the island, Sark in the very background there. It's a nice path. Like so many in Guernsey, lots of places to sit. And the majesty of the castle in the background there. And talking of beaches, some of the most wonderful are on Herm. You probably can't see all the sand from here, but it's quite tropical, Herm. But for now, we'll continue to Bordeaux. Now you can see the sandy beaches start to appear. It's quite unusual, this. The beach is kind of in two parts, and part of it is more pebbly. And then there's like an inner harbour type area, which is beautiful and sandy. This is the first of the two beaches here at Bordeaux, and you can see it's pebbly, but there's good car parking here, and that gives you access to both beaches and also to the little harbour area where people often use it to dive in the water and swim. And like many beaches, this one's got a kiosk. Guernsey's quite keen on its kiosks on the beaches. The States actually say they have to be open from April to September every year, but most actually do continue beyond September because people use the beaches all year round. The beach path meets the cafe, or the kiosk I should say, although there are chairs and tables outside of it. They've also got a loo, which is always helpful, and people sit outside on the grass admiring the view, which I'll show you in just a moment. Across the beach and out to sea, with the islands in the distance. This is quite a popular spot actually, mainly because of the kiosk, the sizable car park, and the ability to just sit and stare. That's a nice seat memorial to somebody. Monkey, lost at sea, 2005. And in the corner over there, you'll see a lovely beach. That gets very well used because the sea is quite shallow all the way through the harbour. So people come use the beach, and it's really safe for the kiddies to paddle, which isn't always the case in Guernsey because we have very high tides. But if you're into swimming, then this is an area for you to enjoy. They're using the old harbour wall and breakwater. As you can see, they're just diving off and swimming in there. This time of year the water's quite warm. Take you around the harbour. See somebody on a paddleboard there. And into the beach at the end. Water so beautifully clear. towards the sandy part. Lady's standing up on her supboard now. You can see just how clear the water is. It's a lovely calm day today as well. Good day for supboarding. Nice, these houses right on the edge of the beach. Believe it or not, this is a bus stop. And the rocks and pebbles give way to the sand. Spoil sport, give it a go. There's one person on the beach the other end of here, and that's all. You often get a beautiful beach pretty much to yourself. If you look closely, you can see those kids diving off the wall still. We've gone back to pebbles here. Again, a really nice wander along the coast. We'll go on a bit because there's yet more beaches. In fact, from here pretty much all the way around to the southwestern tip, we have beach after beach after beach. No wonder they're not crowded, you're spoilt for choice. Again, this beach we're coming up to, there's just one person and they're not sitting on it. Certain of the beaches, the more popular ones, you can't take dogs on in the summer. We're outside of that time now. And yet another car park. And none of this route we've taken so far would be any difficulty for a motorhome. If you've got a camper van, there's no problem at all. I'm kind of judging everything by the size of our motorhome, so, which for those of you who don't know is 8.6 metres, so hopefully that will give you some idea when you're deciding where you can or can't go in Guernsey. It's one of our most beautiful beaches. And like so many others, steeped in history. We've got the Martello towers around us, they're the Napoleonic War defences, and they're all around the bay. They certainly wanted to keep the French out. These towers you see all the way around have nothing to do with the Germans. See how clear the water is. This is about as busy as the beach gets in Guernsey actually, or maybe with the exception of Fauquets Bay. You'll see there's lots of people in the water, but they're still outnumbered by the birds. Show you a little bit of what you can expect at Landcress. Kestrels, well, we see loads of kestrels, oyster catchers, all sorts of flora and fauna. And there you go, there's the tower, and they were built between 1778 and 1779. Flying its Guernsey flag. Let's go and join the crows on this path. There's lots of places you can just clamber down the rocks and get close to the sea. We won't go too far, but let's just wander along a little here, give you some idea of the coastline. It really is a very interesting coastline because we've got so many wonderful golden beaches and then rugged granite history with the defences, various forts all the way around the island, and lots of blackberry bushes. And the occasional rifle range, pistol range. And again, over there, yet more Martello Towers. And yet another Martello Tower. I don't want to be put inside here. Some poor souls were, no doubt, years and years ago. There's another nice little beach up here. And again, really nice and quiet. So let's take a quick look before we go back to the car and find what you will see are increasingly sandy beaches as we go further around the coast. But for now, just take a look at this piece of calm and tranquility. Or at least it is until they use that building at the end. The firing ranges. I've got a particular reason for coming to this kiosk. I need a wee. Look how beautifully it's positioned. You'd be forgiven for thinking I'm on a golf course. In actual fact, I am on a golf course. A very popular golf course. I understand it's really difficult to get membership, but I'm also on the beach. Pembroke Bay. And there we've got what looks like an old German bunker with the blue bit on the top. It's actually a restaurant and cafe right on the beach. And it's a beautiful beach. It's now very, very popular, but so is the beach, which is why there are so many cars here. And why I'm constantly watching my back as I'm wandering towards the sea. You can see the terrace of the beach house. Oh, they do nice meals and they are licensed as well. But here's the pièce de résistance. Look at the colour of that sand. Quite something. This is the beach we saw from the other end. Different atmosphere here though. At this end it's quite busy. Well, busy for Guernsey anyway. Oh, two lovely dogs there on the wall. Don't let them fall over the edge. And then this goes all the way around that rocky promontory and comes out the other side and other wonderful beaches. Choanous, I think that's how you pronounce it. In Guernsey things are a strange mixture of French and English, so I've no idea if I've got that right. But what a beautiful beach, and this is just round the corner from the hustle and bustle of Fauquets Bay. See, there's just one couple on here, all on their own, going for a swim, and that absolutely gorgeous, almost white sand. It also doesn't seem to matter what state of the tide either. It's beautiful at any state of the tide. Slipway there, and again a kiosk. You see, they all come in different shapes and sizes. But they've all got loos and ice cream. This is Fauquets. Another beautiful beach. This one's kind of in two really, because there's a wall there, an old harbour wall, and again the kids jump in and out of the water. But actually when you look at this from the air, which hopefully you will do because we'll include some of Alan's drone footage, you can see how it kind of curves in on both sides, and both of them are beautiful. And then over in the distance you'll see 1, 2, 3, even 4 more individual beaches, and I think you can tell it's quite quiet. So here we are, and we're looking across again at these beautiful beaches. In the summer, well, we're in October now, so in the summer this is very often full of kids and lots of paddleboarders, and that wall there, the old harbour wall, is a great point then, on and off it all the time. And yeah, the water is so clear as well, it's wonderful. Well, now we're at Lille. Yet another kiosk, busy car park, and another lovely beach. Somehow the way all these bays curve round one after the other just gives you a lovely perspective, and you go from one to the other, and they are so different. So different. Families do seem to make a lot of use of them, but as I've said before, they're never busy. So this is Long Havre. I'm just wandering down the slipway, although a lot of it's covered in seaweed at the moment. Again, you can see the ubiquitous Martello Tower in the distance, but the beach goes almost 360 here. They call it Long Havre because lots of people moor their boats here. They're pretty much all local boats. In the distance on the promontory there, there's yet another kiosk. But behind me, which you can't see because I'm down on the beach, but we'll take a wander up, because behind me there's a pub which does good pub grub. There it is, the Puffin and Oyster. Used to be called the Hume Tavern. And that low, rather modern building there is the Peninsula Hotel. And you'll see I'm by a bus stop, serviced by the 31 and 91. And this is a good example of where you can step on and step off the buses as they go around the island, although this road is fine for a motorhome. Parking it might be different though. We're not parked actually on the car park, we're on the slipway, so find the car park. This is the beach that's closest to Vaugrat, which is a campsite that is the only one that takes caravans. From this side, it's got lots of rocks and boulders, but it also has that lovely causeway. But the other side is beautiful and sandy, and actually that's the closest bit to the campsite. They say about 5 minutes walk. Have to say, haven't walked it, so can't say whether that's right or wrong, but it's a lovely spot. Well, here we are at Portsmouth. This is always a gorgeous beach. You can see it's getting late in the afternoon now. The sun's dropping and people coming back off the beach. Doesn't help me taking the photos into the sun. Portsmouth from the other side. Can see how the water comes in through quite a narrow entrance to this beach, and then you've got a beautiful, well, a bit more than a semicircular beach. And when we've got high winds, then you can see the waves rolling in here. You often see surfers here as well. It's a very sheltered little beach for sitting on. But that funnel at the entrance really gives you some spectacular waves. Now from Portsmouth, and I'm talking 30 yards, if that. You go around the promontory and there's yet another different type of beach. Rocky outcrops, sand, another inlet, and not a soul in sight. So here we're going through grass and dunes before you hit the beach. And this is the far end of Fauquets Bay. In the late afternoon sunshine, looking down there at Fauquets and across the sand dunes. Promontory here at Grand Rock. And there is a fort at the end. You'll see the car park and the fort right at the end, but the fort will stay for another day. Drop, that's the Grand Rock Fort, and the kiosk at the end there. Loads of people on the beach here. Loads of kiddies in the sea, people with a kayak and a boat. And then as the sun's setting down into the west, just come round and look across Fauquets Bay. We're in Fauquets Bay and we're passing the Fauquets tea rooms. You see people outside. And coming up is the Fauquets Bay Hotel, which has a lovely outside seating area. You can see people enjoying the sunshine out there. And then the Rockmount pub, and again loads of people outside enjoying the weather, and it's all opposite the beach. Fauquets, this is the top end of Fauquets Bay. And there's even a yacht at anchor, a catamaran out there. People still in the sea. Now you'll see there's a horse box there, that's a big one. It's got a police escort, he must be beyond the size for the roads. That's interesting to see. It's got quite a height on him as well actually, not just the width and the length. but back to the beach, which is why we're here. This is Fauquets Bay. Quite a big, long, sandy beach. You'll still see the sea walls, the German fortifications. It's a big, long bay. You're never far away from fortifications. I'll give you an idea. We're right on the beach, and yet this is the casemate bunker, German bunker, constructed in 1943. It's closed at the moment. You can go in it, but I'll just show you from up here. Hopefully you can see it. And over in the distance there is Portelet, and that has a different tale to tell. You'll see the top of it looks very German and concrete, and indeed it is, but it's built on top of a medieval fort, so there are layers of history there. Again, that's for another day when we talk about the military history of Guernsey. Today's all about the beaches, while we've got the sun still shining. So this is still Fauquets Beach. Like so many of the other beaches on Guernsey, the sand's quite solid, and they use it for sand racing for motorbikes and cars. Look how large and untouched that is. People in the water. Portelet on the headland there. There's quite a big area you can park here. You'll see behind me we're parked here, but also there's a motorhome. But you can see that's not too small a one, and there's plenty of space. And remember, Guernsey parking is free, but that's not overnight. You have to go back to your campsite. The Fauquets Bay. I mentioned about dogs, but this one has a winter dog ban, and that's because of the nesting birds. It's all clearly shown on here where you can and where you can't have your dogs. It shows you where you are here, and the red hatched area is a dog exclusion zone, as I say, due to the nesting birds, dunlin and turnstones. Nobody here, just the birds. Two people on the edge of the shore there, and one halfway up. The whole beach is about 2 miles long, and beautiful. It's on the west coast. It's quite spectacular in rough weather as well, and we have huge tides, so I think you can probably see the line to where the sea comes up. It's quite surprising. We have 10-metre tides. So here's yet another beach. This is Portelet. It's quite rocky here at the moment. Sometimes you do have masses of golden sand. Depends on the wind direction. And talking of the wind direction and the storms, the roads around here are quite often closed. You can see the size of some of these rocks, and the water just picks them up, flings them over these sea walls, which are another German gift, and flings them onto the road. And it's closed and has to be cleared by diggers. No wonder the houses are set a little bit back. You're hardly fighting for sand space, are you? Quite a bit of seaweed on this one at the moment. Obviously the wind direction and the tides. Down the far end of this bay is Rocaine. But this particular part is Lorray. Not quite a kiosk on this one, but there's a little hut that does wonderful ice cream. Probably the best on the island. And Rocaine always has a regatta every year. We'll take a closer look at Rocaine because you might be able to see that white structure. They call it the Cup and Saucer. It's actually a fort. So this is Rocaine. And this is the Cup and Saucer. And this is open to the public. And there's a museum inside it as well. We're a bit late for it now at the moment. Somebody paddleboarding behind it. And Fauquets Bay, which is the other side of the Cup and Saucer, is another beautiful beach. Let's just take a wander along. You can park all the way along here, but there's also Guernsey Pearl here. As the sun sets, this is definitely the best coast to be on when the sun's setting. Obviously the west coast. So here's a look across Fauquets Bay. Forgive me taking this into the sun at this time of the day on this coast. There's not much option. And in the distance there is Hanoi Lighthouse, you can see sticking up. And back round to the Cup and Saucer. Slipway all the way down there. Well, this is probably the most southwestern beach on the island. It's late in the day, so we're in the shade at the moment. Well, most of it is.
No, it starts to be really, really big.
You can see the tractor down there. And a harbour wall, and the tractor's moving the various boats. And then they pull them all the way up and put them at the top here. As I say, most southwesterly point with a beach on the island. Now look back round to the Cup and Saucer, and that little island over there is Lihu, which you can get to via a causeway at low water. You can see the tractors just hooking up the boat now. Oh, and by the way, there's a kiosk and toilets here too. Portelet Bay. This is one of our Guernsey buses. This one takes you to the town terminus, number 61, and we're on the most southwesterly tip of the island. They go all the way around. You can hop on and hop off for a certain price, so even if your motorhome stays on its campsite, you don't necessarily have to. And you can get to places like this by bus. Well, this is Richmond, and in fact specifically Richmond Corner, and this is the beach where I'm going to bring our beach tour to an end. This is on the east coast. You can see the sandy beach. It's getting dark. Across there to Jetu, Sark, and you'll see the slipway. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you made it through to the end, and I hope you enjoyed it, even if you did skip here and there. Please subscribe, or give us a thumbs up if you liked, if of course you did. And next time we'll show you a bit more, probably more history on Guernsey, but we've not quite made our mind up yet. We were just enjoying the last of the sunshine in October. From now on it's likely to be a lot more cold and a lot more wet. But for now, cheers from Guernsey, and hopefully we'll be on the road again soon. Bye.